Okay, Dr. Halliday, thank you very much for your talk. I want to ask about recalibrate your strategy. When you're dealing in, let's say, in a world where they tell you you need to take advice from your past leaders and your predecessors, but then the strategy they use might not be like like you said, it might not it might work in a world that no longer exists. So when there are not much tools to help you at hand, how do you work in such a situation?
That's a very good question. I think that for every great person, there's a merge to be great in one facet of life or the other. We've always stood on the shoulder of someone. We've always stood on the shoulder of someone who is great or who had gone ahead of us and done the same thing. So I heard you say that if they had worked on a strategy that never worked before and they still want you to go ahead and follow that path, I think that it is essential that you begin to redefine who you want to be and what you want to become based on the authentic knowledge that you garner in your life experiences. So it's very essential that you redefine for yourself. Well, the first thing to do is be self-aware. Ask yourself this question: who am I? What do I want to become? What do I want to accomplish? And then begin to look for people who will help you navigate your way through that path. Look out for mentors. Look out for mastermind groups. Look out for values, for avenues where you can have values that you can integrate into your lifestyle. Okay? And I'm not saying that you must follow anyone's path, but you have the power to redefine who you want to become and how you want to go about becoming that person.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Halliday.
You're welcome. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
So you said something about us having a voice, about speaking up and all of that. But in a country like ours, where it's a little bit authoritative, and speaking up could lead to some, would I say, some adverse effects on your person. Is there a way to go around that? Yes, ma'am.
I understand the culture of silence, but we can no longer live in this absurd culture that wants to silence us, that wants to make us not to have a voice. The only thing that is authentically yours is your voice. So if there is anyone that wants to silence your voice, that means that that person, or if it's an organization, that organization is not helping to advance or propel who you want to become. How can you be authentic if you have no voice? How can you conveniently be that person you want to be if you have no voice or no power to speak? You have the power to break through those crucibles, to break through that culture of silence, and let them know that you have a voice as an individual, and you should be able to freely speak as a citizen. It is your responsibility. And I would say this, and of course, I have Nigerian parents. My mother is Nigerian. And so my mother is born into this culture where, as a woman, you should not speak. Every time that I have to speak on television here in America, every time I have to grant interviews, every time I have to be in public atmosphere, my mother is afraid. My mother would say to me, don't let them hear your voice. You speak, your voice is too powerful, and you speak like you're a very old woman. I'm afraid when you speak. That is because that's a culture that's been embedded in her. So she believes that being silent or being conformed to silence is the ultimate goal for a person to live an effective life. But I'm happy to say that every day I'm helping to change my mother's mindset. You are not passing through the four walls of your university, through all of your graduate degree, through all of your undergraduate degree to not have a voice. You must speak. You must use your voice.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I hope that helped.
Yeah, good evening. Dr. Halliday, thank you very much. My question is that, for example, in an environment whereby negative behavior is norm, is like a norm.
Ahmed, we can't really hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, the question is, how how can I unlearn a behavior in an environment whereby that behavior is like a norm, is common, is very common.
Okay, so I think what Ahmed is asking is how can he unlearn some of the certain stuffs about leadership that he has learned growing up in his own environment and his own reality. So
I think, Ahmed, I think you're in the process of actually gathering your own information. You're at university, you're being educated. So with that education comes a whole lot of values that you on your own can integrate into your lifestyle. You can begin to unlearn those things that you know have been the norm but have never really worked or are not the right paths to follow. You can definitely do that by, as I said to the lady just a few minutes ago, reinvent yourself, redefine who you are, and use this experience that you've garnered so far from your university, from your exposure, and integrate them into yourself, and then develop something new that you believe will work for you. You must not follow the norm of the environment. You must not follow cultural norms. This is not the era of following those norms that did not work out for our leaders. This is the era of redefining, building, and authentically following your path.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
You're welcome. And I understand all of these questions. The reason why I understand this question is because I am from this culture. I am also Nigerian. So I understand every word, every phrase, everything that you've said to me thus far. I authentically understand them because I had to battle with them. I am still battling with it. So do not be afraid to share them. Okay?
thanks so much, Doctor.
Of course, the Africans actually have these challenges of having the right leadership that we speak into the heart of development, of the continent, and that also we prioritize, the necessary development that people really need. But unfortunately, I think in African perspective, that is not what leadership is all about. Leadership is to amass wealth, to an individual's pocket. Thank you once again, Dr. Halliday. Brilliant.
Thank you so much for that. That was very, very insightful. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. One thing that I also want to bring to attention is the fact that I've listened to the viewpoints of everyone here, the participants in this session today. And there's one thing that has stayed stuck in my mindset is the fact that they too want to be listened to. They too want to be respected. They too want to learn. So I also think that we should begin to encourage our government, our people, that the era of infantilizing young people should be over. It is time to listen to our young people. It is time to build incubators and ask the young people, what can we do for you? How can we come together? How can we collectively advance your progress? This is not more the era of infantilizing young people and making them seem like they're not relevant. They are relevant. You've said that rightly. Young people hold a huge space. So we have to start recognizing the fact that every young person deserves to be heard. Every young person deserves their voice to be listened to. No more attempt to silence young people.